The United Nations Human Rights Chief has called attacks on civilians around aid distribution centres in Gaza, quote, unconscionable and a war crime. The comments coming after at least 27 Palestinians were killed following Israeli fire in the enclave south. It's the third day of chaos at the US and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's distribution facilities. The Red Cross said its field hospital in Rafah received more than 180 casualties, 19 declared dead upon arrival, and 8 subsequently died of their injuries. The Israeli military said its forces opened fire on individuals that left the designated access routes. The IDF initially denied reports of deaths during similar incidents on Sunday and Monday, which Gaza health officials say killed more than 30 people. And more, Trent Murray joins us live from Tel Aviv. Trent, the organization, the US Israeli-backed organization, that's the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, again denying any chaos at these sites distributing aid. That's despite reports suggesting otherwise. What more would we know about today's incident?
That's right, Sue. I mean, once again, we are hearing conflicting reports here around what sounds to be a fairly serious incident at one of the GHF's aid distribution sites. Now, they are saying that their aid was delivered safely and without incident, but certainly the report suggests that a number of shots were fired there. The IDF has acknowledged that it did open fire on some of those crowds that were gathering to collect food from this new US-backed group. According to the IDF, crowds of Palestinians were making their way to the site via organised routes when troops spotted what they are describing as several suspects approaching who were not on a pre-approved path. Now, I'm reading here from their statement. They say that initially warning shots were fired, and when the crowd didn't disperse, additional fire was carried out next to several suspects and those who approached the forces. But we are hearing from the hospitals and health officials on the ground that whatever this incident was, it has caused a very large number of casualties. 184 patients required treatment at a nearby field hospital operated by the Red Cross. 27 were pronounced dead and 35 have required immediate and serious medical attention. This is now the third day in a row where there has been similar incidents like this. But what makes this one quite different is that the IDF is now openly admitting that it did open fire at some point during the delivery of this aid, which is what has caused this real concern, particularly amongst UN officials. We know just yesterday, following reports of a similar incident, Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, called for an immediate international investigation to try and understand what is happening here and why people are being shot at while they're meant to be collecting life-saving aid.
While this aid distribution is taking place, the war continues. Israeli army issuing more evacuation orders in southern Gaza overnight. Fighting continues in the north. What's happening there?
That's right. Evacuation orders issued around Khan Yunis, the sort of last big city within the southern part of the landlocked enclave. Generally, those evacuation orders are a signal that some intense fighting and military action is coming. We certainly are seeing reports of tanks and artillery and ground troops sort of squeezing into that limited area where civilians have been evacuated in. The IDF believes that Hamas militants are still hiding out there, which is why they're increasing the tempo. But of course, as they move in, civilians need to evacuate. And what aid groups on the ground are saying is that there just doesn't feel like there's anywhere safe left for them to go, given the ongoing operation, both in the air and also on the ground. But we are also hearing of significant fighting taking place in the north of Gaza. 3 Israeli troops were killed by a Hamas-laid roadside bomb. The IDF has confirmed that. Hamas also acknowledged that fighting was underway between troops and their militants. It's the first time we've seen Israeli troops be killed in Gaza since this ceasefire broke back in March.
Thanks for that, Trent Murray there reporting live for us from Tel Aviv.